Okay. That was so funny.
I didn't even think it was funny. I was laughing because he was laughing.
Hilarious.
Hey, that's another cold open, Tyler. You got it.
Literally every episode of this, every podcast is gonna be. Let's try to start. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the working title of the Hooligans Variety Podcast, where we talk about movies, tech, games, pop culture, and anything else. If you have a better title, please send it in.
Yeah.
Title.
Please.
Please.
To our PO box.
Please, ma'am, may I have a title?
Spare titles, ma'am.
Title.
Yeah. We're not going to focus on music in this podcast. You can check out our other podcast, Haven't You Heard, to hear about all of our music opinions. But I'm going to start by introducing everyone. My name is Nick Green. I'll be moderating for this episode. But also is Jason.
What's up?
Jose.
Hey, everyone.
Logan.
What's up?
Everyone that's
Jared.
listening. That's good.
Steven.
What's poppin'?
And Tyler.
It's me.
All right. Good. We're off to a great start, folks.
Quality.
So we'll start. I think the first topic we're going to go over today is movies and TV. So I know there's a few big movies out right now. Is there any movies or shows that anyone's been watching?
I think we should get well, how far back are we really allowing ourselves to go? Is that like illegal? Is there
Let's say like a
limit?
week.
No, it's
Illegal.
fine.
Wait, we're doing movies?
Well,
Yes.
Movies and TV.
I got one.
Are we doing movies?
I got one.
Yes.
You got one? All right.
When I
It's
just
you.
said we're
No,
doing
but you said
movies and
you said
TV.
movies or TV, so it's like, do you want to do movies first or do you want to do TV first? Or
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Just
Doesn't
talk.
matter. Matter.
Okay, go, Jared. You got
okay,
it. You got the floor.
that movie Booksmart.
okay.
It's so good.
Oh,
I've seen
did
it
you-
twice.
oh, I want to
Really?
see
It's
it.
so good.
I don't even know what
Directed
that
by-
is.
Olivia
It's
Wilde.
Olivia Wilde?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Olivia Wilde's directorial debut, and I've
Oh.
heard it compared to Superbad.
yeah.
But it's
Ooh.
also like doing its own thing. So it's like I hear it's like a very modern take on like teenagers, and it's supposed to be very, really good, like really, really good and really funny. I haven't personally seen it, but it's definitely on my list.
Yeah, it's super
Oh.
original, and like the humor isn't cringy, I guess, is like a good way to.
Yeah.
It's not like an old person trying to decipher
Yeah,
what
it feels like a
teenagers
Seth Rogen
sound
vibe,
like.
where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, it's actually
Yeah.
funny, like
Is it coming? It's like a coming of age, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like,
Essentially,
did you
if you had to put it in a box, it'd be that one.
Did you see Edge of 17, Jared?
Nah.
No. Okay. Well,
No.
that's the only other like female, because it's like two girls, right?
Yeah, the actresses
Yeah.
actually like took time to live with each other, so they like
Oh, wow.
established a very
Really?
real friendship
Wow.
instead of having to fake it on screen. And it was also written by 3 women, so it's not like
Nice.
it's very like from the perspective of women,
That's
which
like
is
some
good.
method acting shit.
Yeah, it's that Daniel Day-Lewis shit, bro.
Letting women speak for themselves is so fucking. That's wild.
That's the new wave.
That's rad. That's so 2019.
Dan.
Dude,
So
definitely
woke.
2019.
Um,
Good.
well,
But yeah, definitely go watch that movie.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to
doing
check it
that.
out. I've been meaning to.
Yeah.
I
let's
haven't
go.
been to
Another
the movies
movie.
in a while.
another movie you should go see, which
Yeah?
I have seen twice, is Godzilla King of the Monsters,
Hey.
Dude,
and it is phenomenal.
And
What
I-
makes it so good?
Yeah.
What
With-
were
no
your
spoilers.
expectations? What did you expect from the movie that like what expectations were met that made it so good?
Okay, so
What were you looking for? What do you look for in a Godzilla movie?
Okay, well, in a Godzilla movie, okay, baseline. What I expect in a Godzilla movie is to see Godzilla and either fighting
course.
or destroying. And if you've, I mean, you laugh.
well,
but
he says that because the first one.
in the 2014,
Yeah.
in the 2014 movie, which was, because this is the sequel to that, Godzilla is on screen for 8 minutes, which, like, that is how the original Godzilla was. He wasn't on screen that long, but it was also a lot of shrouded in darkness, and so I liked that movie a lot. It was really good, especially because there hadn't been a Godzilla movie in a good while, and this was Hollywood's first real attempt because Matthew Broderick Godzilla is not really Godzilla, so
Talk about it.
this was the
You
first
got me
real
there,
attempt, and so I wanted to see more Godzilla. So I guess the expectation thing was more of coming out of the first movie was maybe a better human story. I don't care much for the human stories in Godzilla movies. Seeing Godzilla more and like better monsters. In the first movie, there's the Mutos, which were cool. They were an original design, but they didn't really do anything for me. So this movie, I will say the human story is still not that great, especially on the side of the antagonist. That's definitely the weakest point of the movie, but also who cares? Because like
that's not
we're
why
there for
you're
Godzilla.
there.
Yeah.
I want the
The-
monster
there's-
antagonist
There's
to matter.
definitely more Godzilla. There's definitely more monsters because there's like 4 title monsters that all the advertising have shown, which are Godzilla, Mothra, which is the big moth,
Oh, yes,
Rodan,
of
which
course.
is the pterodactyl, and then Ghidorah, which is the 3-headed dragon. And then they show some other monsters, but there's not a focus on them. So there was definitely a lot more Godzilla. There was more monster fights. There was still some of shrouding it, but not really. And obviously that's going to be like a special effects trick that they're trying to do. But you definitely see more like full body monsters fighting. So that was good. The human story is better because in the first movie it doesn't really follow Godzilla, like it doesn't connect. This one they're actually involved in what Godzilla's doing, and so that it makes more sense and it's just more interesting. It's more of like an action oriented, whereas the first movie was kind of just Aaron Taylor Johnson trying to get home. So I really
fun.
encourage seeing it. The visuals are really good. The monsters look good. The sound is really good. And if you're a fan of Godzilla, there's a lot of musical cues and Easter eggs in it. And so this just felt more like a Godzilla movie than the first one did. And that I think a lot of that was it was directed by Mike Doherty, I think is how you say his name, and he was like he's been a Godzilla fan his whole life. So it was more of a Godzilla fan making a movie for Godzilla fans.
That's dope.
But I think anyone could enjoy it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Wasn't the what is her name? The girl from Stranger Things,
Millie
11.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Is that her
yes.
name? Okay, yeah, she's on that,
in
right?
it. Kyle Chandler's in it. Charles Dance, who he plays Tywin Lannister in Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, that means.
Man,
that's
I
a
wish we
movie.
could talk about Game of Thrones. Logan has to ruin it for
Well, we
everybody.
can't.
Hey, man.
Hey,
and then-
hey, I have to ruin it too because I don't care.
Thomas Middleditch is also in it from
Thomas
Silicon
Middleditch
Valley.
is in it, and returning from the first movie is Ken Watanabe,
Yeah.
who
Cool
he
guy.
has a really, really, really good moment in the movie. It's like one of the best parts of the movie.
Yeah, is
So
that Ice Cube
definitely go
Jr.?
check it out. Who?
Ice Cube Jr.
He is. Yes.
Is he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he
Heck.
is. He
Is
plays
he
a
playing
soldier,
Ice Cube
but-
again?
Yeah.
he plays a soldier.
Ice Cube
named
Jr.
Barnes,
as
I think,
Ice Cube.
But he does a good job. He's kind of a main character. You see him a lot. So
Oh, okay.
Dope.
Good
for him.
yeah.
Dope.
Is
Um,
anybody gonna go see Dark Phoenix?
I
want to.
No.
I think the better question is, has anyone seen it? Or is anyone
came
seeing
out-
it right now?
No.
So I haven't seen it. I want to see it because I've always liked the X-Men movies, and I know that the critic scores are not great right now, but I have also seen a lot of people that are like just X-Men fans and comic fans that are liking it.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be a situation where critics didn't like it, but the audience likes it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean,
not to bring up Godzilla again, but that was one of those situations. That's all I have to say. We get
Let's
it.
go.
The audience. The
Hey, did I
audience
mention
score
that I
was
saw
way higher.
Godzilla?
Yeah, I did see it. I saw it twice. Just letting you know. But I do want to see Dark Phoenix.
I'm not too intrigued. I saw X-Men: Days of Future Past, and that was cool. And then I also saw X-Men Apocalypse, and that was a lot less cool.
That had Oscar Isaac in it, right?
And I don't know.
Yeah, it did. He was the bad guy.
Simon Kinberg, who directed Dark Phoenix, he's like, I'm not sure if he's that good of a director since he's more of a writing background. He wrote Apocalypse, he also wrote Days of Future Past, but he also wrote the Fantastic Four screenplay from 2015.
You mean Fan Force?
Fan Four
Stick.
Oh.
Again, not to say that it's the writer's fault, but that movie didn't do
Yikes.
so well. So I'm kind of indifferent. I'm leaning more towards not really seeing Dark Phoenix, but I don't know. I'm kind of want to see it out of curiosity, but I don't have a whole lot of
Yeah.
faith in the film personally. But I'm just waiting for X-Men to join the MCU, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are.
I'm not.
It'll probably be a while though, but
For sure, obviously, but
Didn't the
still
didn't-
can't wait.
Was it a confirmed or was this like a rumor of Fantastic? Wow, I
Fantastic.
can't say it. Fantastic Four joining the MCU by like 2022 or something.
I think that's what they want.
Okay.
Like I think it could have been Feige. I'm not sure, but I think a Marvel exec said they would like them to join by 2022.
I mean, so would I.
Yeah, I want that just because Doctor Doom, like, I'm not a big comic reader or anything, but from what I've read about Doctor Doom as a character, he seems like a super cool villain, and I really want them to explore him.
For
Yeah.
sure.
And they even just recently, within the past year, they finally reintroduced the Fantastic Four into the comics because they just hadn't had a book for a while, so they were basically only showing up in events. And then I think the storyline so far has been them and interacting with Doctor Doom, so they've even focused on him too. So they could definitely capitalize on the comic relevance.
Yeah, I think a good villain makes for a good movie sometimes, and if they make a good
for
Doctor
sure.
Doom, it can be pretty sweet.
I mean, isn't that part of the
Infinity
reason
War
that
proved that.
people tend to like Marvel movies? Is because they tend to write decent villains that aren't
Well,
just...
at first they kind of didn't. Up until like I
Recently.
think most people
Killmonger.
like Thanos and Killmonger a lot. Yeah.
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 I would say that they're not known for their villains.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of very one-dimensional villains. Even like I think most everyone likes Ragnarok, but even Hela,
Yeah.
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of-
she's
yeah.
just kind of...
she's okay.
There.
She's
but
okay.
Also, that movie was more about Thor, anyways. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely think that's why Infinity War, like, at least personally, I think Thanos was the best villain that they've had so far.
For sure.
Because he's got
And that's-
actual motivation. He's not just let
Yeah.
me kill world because...
In Infinity
that's-
War, though,
True.
I think that
yeah.
the Thanos in Endgame, but of course,
a
big
younger
spoilers
Thanos.
coming up. By
I
the
mean,
way,
that's... Yeah, that's...
yeah, I guess
That's-
it's been a
it's
while,
different.
so yeah.
And the focus, like, they made in Infinity War is almost like the Thanos movie, whereas Endgame is supposed
Avengers.
to be the Avengers.
Yeah.
I mean, if
conclusion.
you
Yeah.
want to get
For
real
now.
deep, the Thanos in Infinity or in Endgame is... Wait, what's the timeline? Never mind, I might be wrong. Yeah.
he's not the
He's a
He's-
different Thanos.
he's a
No, yeah,
different
because
Thanos.
because when it
Quote-unquote.
goes back, it's the same. It's like before any of the stuff in Infinity War happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
so
get me
it's
started.
the way they framed it. It was like he hadn't even started his quest for the stones yet.
Yeah.
So it was early.
so
Yeah.
Infinity War Thanos is an Endgame. Confirmed.
He is in it. Yes.
Yeah.
Dies.
Oh yeah, he. What?
Spoiler alert.
I'm not scared of that guy. I killed that guy.
He dies.
Whoa.
If he dies,
If he dies, he dies.
he dies. He dies.
it's gonna happen.
No one ever gets that. What the heck?
It's from Rocky.
I know it's
Yeah.
from Rocky.
All right. So Dark Phoenix. What else?
Any
I
watching
actually.
TV shows? Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, sure. I actually recently watched Hereditary, and
Yikes.
I think honestly, it's my favorite horror movie as of right now. Just like they top them all, and
What's
it's.
the? Can you give us? I don't really know a lot about that movie. What's the
I
synopsis without saying too much?
Yeah, I recommend not seeing the trailer or reading too much into this movie. But it's pretty much it pretty much focuses on a family after or a woman after her mother dies, and it focuses on her coping with it and how her family kind of deals with it. And that's as much as I'll say without saying too much.
Yeah, you really can't.
But
say
it's
that's that.
yeah, it's written and directed by Ari Aster, I think is how it's pronounced. And he does a phenomenal job. It's just so well written, so well directed, and also the acting is just superb. Just Toni Collette does this like, just gives us an amazing performance that's so believable, and honestly, she deserves an Oscar nomination. But horror always gets snubbed for Oscars, so it's whatever.
So let me throw my
yeah.
2 cents in on Hereditary, because I
Um,
actually most movies I've actually seen. I will
Sure,
say,
go for it.
who was the son? It was like Alec Wolf or whatever.
Alex Wolff, yeah,
Alex
who you
Wolff.
might have seen in
The-
Jumanji.
and the
if you guys saw
Naked
that.
Brothers
Wait,
band.
Alex Wolf. Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh,
Alex
wait.
Wolf from the
Oh,
Naked
one-
Brothers
yes,
band?
From
Okay.
also
Wondering why
from
I
the
knew that
Naked
name.
Brothers band fame.
Yeah, but I will say his acting was a little suspect to me, at least.
For sure.
But I will
would agree with
say, like the mom in the movie, I don't know her name, but she did a really good job that whole movie. And then I mean, later towards the movie, there were some kind of predictable jump scares, typical horror movie shit. But there were a few like shocking moments in it. I'm not gonna spoil anything that like you just don't see coming, and in a horror movie, that's pretty rare nowadays, honestly, because pretty much everything is chock full of, jump scare. You get creepy orchestra music, and there's another jump scare.
And then the
Like,
really
that's
loud violin building up to something.
I would
Yeah.
kind of argue against that point though. I feel like there's almost like and I'm not the first person to say this, but almost like a renaissance of kind of horror movies where they're kind of straying away from that with Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Ooh,
making
I want to
all
get
his
into that.
stuff. And
We can't because I still haven't
with
seen
Hereditary and
Same.
Midsummer coming out in the Midsummer, and then even I would even say It kind of. I thought It was a solid horror movie.
I would definitely.
For sure. I would agree with that.
There was only a few jump scares in that one. That one
Yeah.
definitely used more like almost body horror.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
like unsettling the entire
Uncomfort,
time.
yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
the trailer for part 2. I thought it was
Oh my
definitely
gosh.
like really ooh.
So that's kind of
creepy-crawly.
my question about Hereditary is this a horror movie where there's kind of a, how do I put it? There's like a central villain, like It obviously has Pennywise.
Yeah.
Is this
Yes,
one that's
definitely.
more of like specters and like just kind of almost like Paranormal Activity where it's just kind of weird stuff happening, or is
Yes.
there like a certain force that is?
Here's you can go first, Steven.
Okay, I mean, yeah. There's a central force, and it causes weird shit to happen. But there's like, it's not like Paranormal Activity where it's just like, there's some weird stuff. Who knows?
We took the
Yeah.
sheets off
You
your
kind of
bed.
have an idea throughout the
Yeah.
movie, like what
Here's-
it is. Yeah.
What I will say to answer that question is that Steven is right. There is something, like I guess an antagonist, if you will. But the movie, and this is why I love the movie like more than anything, is that it's not really about that. It's not really about the antagonist. What I love about this movie is that it, more than anything, thematically speaking, it's about grief and coping,
Yeah, definitely.
especially with the loss of a loved one, which is something that I can personally relate to. It's just like those raw feelings are portrayed so well on screen, and the fact that this movie is like using horror to explore that, like exploring grief and pain, and coping with something so tragic like that, is great. And this is why I love the movie. It's kind of like why Get Out gets so much like praise, because it's using horror to deconstruct like social issues, especially with like racism and stuff like that. And this is what this movie does. And something like the Babadook did years ago with like using horror as a way to explore depression and also like grief and stuff like that. So I love movies that do that are more than just like surface level. This movie is more than just like trying to scare you. It's trying to like explore what it's like like trying to. It's really like almost like a character study on this character, who Annie I think is what her name is. It's really really good. It's the last 15-20 minutes are genuinely terrifying. It's a slow burner, but if it's I don't think it's your typical horror movie. I wouldn't say it's all about jump scares. It's more in the sense of like Get Out, where it's like a little bit more paced really well, and it builds up into something that's the payoff is so good in my opinion. It's honestly I think my favorite horror movie right now.
How'd you watch it?
It's available on Amazon right now with a lot of other A24 films.
Nice. I still need to get out.
I still need to see
Oh, man.
the other one that came out more recently. I can't remember the name.
Oh my
Us.
God,
I
Us
need to see
is
that as well.
so good.
We can't
Me
talk
and Jared
about it
talked
though.
about
We
Us.
can't
We
talk
talk
about it.
about it.
Me and Jared can have our own podcast about us.
Yeah, go.
I want
go
to see
do
it.
that.
I definitely want to see Get Out for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely do it.
I'll get there.
He'll get out.
Um,
Yeah.
all right. Anything else about movies,
TV? I've been like I said, I finished Game of Thrones recently, but I won't talk too much about it. But I actually something I watched recently was Tuca and Birdie on Netflix. It's very good. It's very charming. It's the production designer and animator from BoJack Horseman, so it kind of has that same feel to it. But once you watch it, it's very more like BoJack Horseman for being an animated show with anthropomorphic like characters. It's kind of grounded in reality more so than Tuca and Birdie is, so it's a little bit different in that way. But it still like kind of like touches on some deep stuff. And it's a lot of fun. So if anyone has Netflix and you like a little short animated show, check that one out.
Also, if you haven't seen BoJack Horseman,
Oh yeah, BoJack Horseman.
do
yeah.
yourself a favor
Yeah.
and watch BoJack Horseman.
One day.
What about Barry?
Barry? I
Barry.
haven't seen
I
it
need
yet.
to start
want to.
that.
What
Let
is
me tell
Barry
you-
on?
Oh,
HBO.
Let me
It's on
tell you
HBO.
something about Barry.
Is it HBO?
Think so?
Yeah.
yes, it is HBO.
Barry is an HBO show starring and created by Bill Hader. And for those of you who do not know, and I am a huge fan of Bill Hader. And this show, it's 30 minutes. Each episode's 30 minutes long. There's 2 seasons. The second season just ended a few weeks ago. I think around the same time Game of Thrones did. And honestly, it's so far, I think it's like a damn near perfect show. It's funny, it's very comedic, but it's also gets really, really dark. And Bill Hader does a really good job. He's directed some episodes. Hero, whose last name Mariah, I think, something like that. Who directs a lot of who directs a lot of episodes of Atlanta,
yeah.
and directs a lot of stuff for
He's
Donald
good.
Glover.
I like him.
Yeah,
He directs a lot of the episodes for Barry as well. So just overall as a show, it's so good. I don't know how they're going to top the second season, but if it's really quick, you can knock it out in a day, and I definitely recommend it to anyone if you like humor, like comedy, and also if you just like action a little bit, and so, some little darker themes and stuff like that. It's very, very good.
Cool. I want to talk about one more thing before we kind of move on to another section. So, I guess like maybe the last show that I want to talk about, and I think I might be the only one that's seen it, so I won't go too long. But Chernobyl on HBO as well.
Hear very good things.
It's
Keep hearing about it too, yeah.
It's a 5-part miniseries which has its 5th episode just aired on Monday. So the series is complete. It has some notable people. It has Stellan Skarsgård,
Yes.
who he's in the Thor movies. He's Eric Selvig. It also has, I don't know his name, but he played Moriarty in the Sherlock Holmes movies with Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, Jared Harris.
Yes, he's in it. And there's not really many other people that I recognize, but it's about the Chernobyl power plant disaster meltdown. I'm only 3 episodes in, but it is really, really good. It's different. What I like about it is it's obviously kind of a political thriller, because part of it is dealing with the actual issues of the power plant's explosion, as well as some of the Soviet bureaucracy and how much they wanted to cover, like keep it silenced. For full disclosure, I don't know how necessarily truthful or accurate the show is. It might be very dramatized, but if it is historically accurate, it's kind of crazy to see how much the Soviet government was like hiding and trying to prevent people like around the world from seeing, given the consequences. Also, the people involved. There's one guy that it's just like he's really responsible for probably a lot of death. And like some of the best scenes in the show are, I won't spoil too much, but obviously with radiation, they'll have the Geiger counters.
Yeah.
And it just like some of the sound mixing and scenes they make with lighting, just it's not even a horror movie because the only like villain is radiation, which is killing them. But like sometimes the Geiger counters just are flooding the audio tracks with so much noise that it becomes like it makes you anxious, and it's really, really good. It's really interesting, and I don't think it's very. Sometimes political thrillers per se are can be slow. I haven't seen too much of that, so it's definitely worth seeing. It's only 5 episodes. Each episode is an hour, so you can knock it out in a week. I recommend it. It's worth a watch for sure.
It's also currently the highest rated TV show on IMDb, if that means anything to you guys.
Oh, okay.
With a 9.6 rating.
Wow.
I also
from
think
like
there's
fans, right? Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
That's from fans?
I guess so. IMDb users, yes.
Okay.
I believe is exclusively decide on that.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
And
yeah.
I actually saw something on Reddit today about how apparently Russia is supposed to make like their own series to sort
I
of
saw that too.
like in response to that, sort of implicate the
Oh.
U.S. So that'll be interesting to see like how the two stories are different.
Yeah. I also I haven't listened to an episode myself, but I think there was a podcast that went with the show that dealt a lot more with it. I believe it's just called Chernobyl the podcast.
Okay.
And I think they go a little bit more in depth about some of the situations, and at least from what I've seen online, they say it's really good to watch that too, or listen to that too, because it gives a lot more.
So after you listen to our podcast, then you can go listen to whatever podcast you want.
No, after you listen to our podcast, and then when you listen to the music
our other
podcast,
To our podcast.
Oh yeah. Listen to our other podcast.
Yeah.
Listen to both
Then
our
go-
podcasts first.
Then you listen to the album.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So
then listen-
with that, let's move on to tech. There's a few things about tech. I think let's start with I believe AMD announced some new processors.
Let's
Is that right?
go.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Yeah, the 3000 series. Look, I'm not even gonna be able to afford them for forever.
Yeah.
But according to AMD, which you can take that with a grain of salt until actual benchmarks come out, but the like top of the line, like 3900X, is supposed to be on par, if not a little bit better in some applications than like the i9, which is like Intel's top of the line thing. And
$200
if you
cheaper.
don't build computers or know anything about that, that's really good. And it's cheaper, and it's that it's cheaper. And I think that they have to, I don't know, I think that they're kind of gonna have to force Intel's hand to like be more affordable, so it's just gonna be a good thing all around, hopefully. If it ends up being
Either
true.
that or AMD just becomes more
Either
expensive.
that or that it actually sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I know we all saw, or at least have seen the memes about that big old Apple stand
Alright,
thing,
alright,
which
yeah.
Nick has already explained.
Let me say, I am by no means an Apple apologist. I have issues sometimes too, but let me say this in defense of Apple. Obviously, it's a meme, but the thing is, the Apple event was the Worldwide Developers Conference 2019, which I'll say that again, Worldwide Developers Conference. So the whole presentation is meant to, yes, it'll tell you what your iPhone can do in the fall with dark mode and whatever, but it's mainly for developers to know what equipment they can work with and the software that they're going to work with. The Apple, the Mac, I think it's called the Mac Pro,
Yeah.
Yeah.
is a computer that is not a consumer item.
Yeah.
It not really. It is for production. And the reason why it's so expensive is because it is like specialized for production means. And frankly, I haven't done a lot of the research, but I'm pretty sure from what I've seen online that the $999 stand is actually cheaper, is like one of the most cheaper options of that product compared to other high-end stands.
Yeah.
So,
But Nick,
Sorry,
you
can I-
don't get it. I can buy 500 different subscriptions to different websites and go out for multiple meals and still not be at the price of an Apple stand.
I know, but you're also not editing the soundtracks and film for
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Tyler.
a movie.
So-
which
You're not making the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Oh my god, we're done with this.
are they making that on that?
No, we'll talk
Because
about that again
edit-
when it comes back.
And what's sad about, and I know that people want to say stuff, so this is the last thing I'm gonna say for a little bit. What's sad about like that is that people don't see the rest of what was announced at the Apple event, which not everything matters, but I think there's some like really important things. And with the Mac Pro, like they were showing that you can do, I think it's 3 streams of 8K video simultaneously.
remember saying
So that's
that.
not even
12
like
slots.
pre-rendering, and then like 1,000 audio tracks, all like filled with like full orchestras. Like it was crazy, the computing power and how like efficient they're wanting to make like production.
Oh, it's wild. I
And
respect that.
Yeah.
I'll throw in about the monitor and all that because I did a little bit of research on it too. Because I was, me like everyone else, was like, "What the fuck? This is stupid. What the fuck is Apple doing?" I've read that like for the price that monitor is and what it's actually capable of doing, as far as being just like a very high end video editing monitor. I think it's like I forgot what the HDR standard on it. It was something like fucking insane for that. But like it's on par with like some like $40,000 monitors, and like kind of like what Nick was saying, like it's for developers, and usually those like high end monitors don't even come with stands anyway. And so for the price of the monitor and the stand, you're still saving a ton compared to like another high end professional monitor of a similar quality. So yeah.
Whoa, wait a minute. I just found some very important numbers. You can buy 4,167 pieces of garlic bread for the same price as the Apple Pro stand.
Bro, but how many McChickens is that?
999.
999.
Come on.
Dude, that's so many McChickens.
The other big thing, because I know I want to get to our kind of last segment, because there's probably going to be a lot to say in that.
Yeah.
I think one of the like coolest things about the Apple event, and that I think a lot of just general consumers don't understand and probably don't appreciate enough, is Apple's insistence on privacy, which I'm always cautious when it comes to companies, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business. They want to make money, and we've seen like in recent years that a lot of companies have been willing to go under the table and kind of take your data and put it out there, and that's not good.
Cutting ties.
And so I really think that in the past like year and a half, they've really been, Apple at least has been very vocal about valuing customers' privacy. And one of the features that I'll just go through real quick is it's called Sign In with Apple, which there's a lot of apps where you can like click sign in with Facebook or sign in with Google, which don't ever do that.
Don't. I have a
bad
story
idea.
about this. Holy shit.
Yeah, don't do that. But Apple is putting an API that developers can use, and I think they're actually requiring a lot of developers to do it, where their app, you can sign in with Apple, and you can either choose to just sign in with the email that you have on your Apple account, or you can do a hidden option. And what that does is it hides your email from the developer or whatever source, like whoever's making the app, and it creates a phony email, and puts that as the email for the account. But then that email doesn't have any information like about you. It's just a randomized like numbers and letters and symbols. But that email automatically is set up to forward to the email that you have on your Apple account. And with each app, it creates a new email. So you can, like, if one app you just want to stop, you don't want to use the app anymore, you can just delete it and not have to. You're not like affecting all the other apps with a single email. All the other apps are unaffected, so you're free to do what you want with each app. And so that's just like, to some it's a minor thing. To me, I just think that's more proving that they really value privacy. And I just really think, especially more and more, where obviously we're in the age where we all rely on technology, I just think that's really cool that they do that. And I think they deserve some recognition for that.
Yeah, but the sign in with Google thing is absolute horseshit. I did that the other day because I was on my way to work and what was I doing? I wanted to listen to Spotify on my way to work because the music, duh. And for some reason, my Spotify had logged me out. I think because I had just changed my password or something dumb had just happened. And so I logged in on my phone before I started driving, and it was like, oh, you want to sign in with Google or whatever? And I just hit okay because I was like, whatever, like, just let me listen to my music. I got to get to work. And then Spotify started doing this weird thing where it would do the little loading circle, and then it would close out of the app, and then it would open the app, and then do the little loading circle, and then it would close out of the app, and it did that just indefinitely. And so then I had to like change all my Spotify info, remove it from my Google, disable my Google from asking for my passwords, and then go back in. And it was just annoying. It was too annoying to be doing at 6:50 in the morning.
Yeah.
So, don't use that trash.
Don't do it.
Big trash.
Big trash.
All right. Any other quick final thoughts on tech?
It's good.
I like my computer.
It's good. Yes. All right. Well, then let's go to what I think most of us have a lot to talk about is the video game realm. This weekend is E3. It does start tomorrow. Starts tomorrow. EA Play, which is not one of the typical conferences. It's just an event, but they are unveiling Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Let's go!
Which is made by Respawn, who made Titanfall and Apex Legends, and I think a lot of people are excited. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll just go through the conference schedule before I ask my question real quick. So on Sunday is Microsoft, Bethesda, and Devolver Digital.
Ooh.
And then Monday there's PC Gaming, Ubisoft, and Square Enix. And then on Tuesday the Nintendo Direct will air. And that's it for the main conferences. So I'm going to start with a question, and we'll go around. What game are you most looking forward to seeing out of this E3? And let's start with Tyler.
Oh, okay. I don't think there's like a specific game, like at least that I've seen. Like,
With you saying that real quick, either what game are you wanting to see, or like what is something that you're wanting to see?
Yeah. I think in general, I'm always looking forward to Nintendo. They always like seem to, not always, but every once in a while they'll surprise you, and I do think that they're most likely going to announce the next Smash DLC, which I like have the Fighter Pass, so, and I still play Smash from time to time. So I'm kind of excited for that. Yeah, I know. The Star Wars. No, I couldn't tell you.
It's really hard.
Yeah, Shrek maybe.
Donkey.
Hey, there's already a Shrek Smash game. It's called Shrek Super Slam.
Oh,
shit, you're
Jared
right. Oh my
knows.
god, I love that game.
It's a 10 out of 10, baby.
That was a real thing.
Kind
totally was.
of on that same topic. I don't think it's gonna be anything at E3, but just the other day they announced they're remaking SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, which is one of my favorite games as a kid, and like I've said this a million times this week to all of you, but
Yeah,
it's
we
like
know.
in that era of like every every kid's TV show and movie had a video game to it, and they were all hot ass.
Yeah.
And Paddle for Bikini
Hey.
Bottom,
And not in the good
Paddle
way.
for Bikini Bottom is good. It's very good.
As opposed to cold ass.
Yeah. So just to let everybody else talk, the only other thing I'm really looking forward to is how Bethesda's gonna cover their butt for this past year
Okay.
of being just garbage.
Fallout 76.
Yeah.
All right. What about Jose?
Hey, what's up, man? For me, I'm with Tyler. I always look forward to seeing like what Nintendo's got up their sleeve. I feel like as of lately, Nintendo's been kind of like killing it for the most part. And I really,
sure.
honestly, I just need a reason to buy a Switch. Like I need another reason.
You want justification?
Yeah.
There's like already so many reasons why I want a Switch.
Breath of the
But-
Wild should be the only reason that
That
you
is
need
I
one.
That's
feel-
true.
For a lot of
No,
people, it was.
You're
But
right. You're totally
there's-
right. But
What's crazy is there's already such like there's a huge lineup of Nintendo games that have already been announced. So it's like, what more?
What- yeah,
are
what's
they
next?
Yeah,
gonna
what are you
have?
waiting for?
yeah. Also, I think there was like a rumor that they might be like announcing like a new version of the Switch or like a Switch 2 or something. I heard that a while back.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that still holds any.
Does it mean the old
Something-
ones will be
It's been-
cheaper? Because I can dig that.
Maybe.
That's also what I was
I
thinking. I
don't
was
care
like
about
maybe
new shit. I just want some
but
cheap stuff.
I will say, not to totally
debunk
rain
it.
on that parade,
Sure.
but I think someone is on record from Nintendo of saying that wasn't a plan. But it's always come back in rumor mills. Like there's been so many times where rumors say that it's happening, so it's very ambiguous, and that is like one of the big unknowns. I think of we might see a budget option,
Please.
because that's always been the rumors that. So what Jason was saying of a cheaper model, I think they wouldn't, because there's always been a rumor of there's a budget model.
Mm-hmm.
So and then also a more like a pro.
Yeah, I just mean
I've heard
like
that as well.
I just mean like if a newer model came out, then maybe the older one will be
Yeah.
cheaper. But we also know Nintendo is really stingy about doing price drops.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
True.
I think at most they would have a budget version of the Switch where maybe the Joy-Con aren't detachable or something like
Yeah.
that. But I don't know.
That sounds
about
horrible.
Like
Wait a
made
minute.
specifically for kids.
Yikes.
Yeah. So truthfully I don't think it'll happen, but I guess we'll see. Steven,
Steven.
what do you got?
What's up?
do you have anything?
So, there's a few games I'm looking forward to seeing some information about.
MLB The Show?
No.
I don't think we'll see that. in
They play baseball. That's it. Probably my biggest one's gonna be any more additional information about Pokemon, and really just Nintendo in general.
Ooh.
I've had a Switch for several months, and ever since I beat Let's Go Pikachu, I really haven't touched it as much. So this new game looks really promising. The graphics look insane.
Did you see the direct that they had the other day?
I haven't looked at that yet. I saw something about how there's
Dude.
like you can make the Pokemon big and they fight each other in a stadium.
Yeah, that
Like
shows weird.
Dynamax
Pokemon
Pokemon.
You need to, because I don't think there might be some details about Pokemon, but I don't know how much is going to be in the direct because they just had that Pokemon
Yeah.
direct.
Yeah.
So definitely go check that out because they show a lot of cool stuff.
Show a dog with
and
sword
I
and,
think
shield.
it's,
Or two dogs.
but Pokemon is going to be big this year for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely got good
Undoubtedly.
Pokemon.
Cool.
I mean,
Pokemon
this is
Sleep?
like the first real Pokemon game on like on
Switch.
not a handheld console because Let's Go doesn't really count because it's not a traditional Pokemon game. It's
you got
like-
the GameCube ones.
Yeah, but even those aren't.
But
like,
those aren't like main
traditional-
story. There's like
yeah.
Coliseum and then like
Yeah.
the whatever one that other one
XD.
was.
Most of them
Same
aren't like the,
vein
the,
as
the
Coliseum.
traditional
Yeah.
RPG style Pokemon games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with like whatever one was on the N64. I forget what-
The
Stadium?
yeah, Pokemon Stadium,
Yeah.
which that game
the
is
picture
a
taking
bop.
ones.
Pokemon Snap.
Pokemon Snap.
No, not that
That's a
one.
pop too.
That's what I want on Switch.
That's my only canon Pokemon game.
All right.
I mean,
if-
so what? It'd be cool if there was some like snap funk part of the game because like, here's a bit of a spoiler to Steven of in the trailer that they showed in the direct, they show Pokemon out in the wild again, like how it is in Let's Go,
Mhm.
but there was also a scene where it kind of seemed like there was a random encounter, so it's a little,
Mhm.
it's still a little vague of what exactly how that system works, but maybe there'll be a way to take pictures of Pokemon out in the
Put
wild.
them in your album.
I think
Because you
I
have like a
think that-
phone. I think you have a phone in the game.
Yeah, I think that the wild, like the Pokemon walking around in the wild, was only in a certain zone, like between
Yeah.
cities, and I think that like maybe random encounters, if there's like grass or water inside of a city, that'll probably be it there.
Yeah.
Just so that there's not too much stuff like cluttering up the streets in the city.
That's true.
Damn Pokemon everywhere.
Sounds good.
I know, dude.
Let's go to Jason.
Hey, I'm all about that. Anything that they're gonna show about Halo, I already know that. I don't know what they're doing for Infinite. I feel like I feel like somebody's told me something about it, but I know that for the Master Chief Collection stuff and for like specifically for Halo Reach, because that's the first game that they're releasing on PC for the Master Chief Collection, they have already shown like people playing it, like them, the developers or whatever, playing Halo Reach on PC, but they're going to take it to E3 and have it available for like just random people that show up at E3 to play the first mission of Halo Reach and get a feel for what it's going to be like on PC. And I don't know, I'm just interested to see what other people are going to say about it, and especially because the guy that was playing in that video was not very good at it, and he admitted that, like, he's not a keyboard and mouse guy, and it was kind of dog shit. But I don't know, I'm excited to just hear anything about Halo because I want it.
Yeah, and I think I saw. I think the beta for Reach is supposed to launch in June,
Please, I signed up for
Uh,
flighting. Give me Halo.
but I think I think we're yet to. I think that's yet to fully be confirmed. So I guess we'll hear more about that.
Please go.
I'm gonna go ahead and go. I'll do mine.
Yeah, fuck Jared.
Well, there's still Jared and Logan. I'm gonna get to them too. Don't worry. I think for me, God, there's a lot. I think the one that is just I'm very excited to see, but I'm also apprehensive is the Avengers game, which should be unveiled at Square Enix.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently it's possibly a 4-player cooperative game. I don't know what that means, because that, to me, that sounds like Ultimate Alliance.
Sounds like a beat 'em up.
Right.
Can't really be
So,
much else.
I think there's also been rumors that it was almost like I've heard the word like Destiny, it's like a games as a service model, which that makes me nervous because a lot of games as a service don't really work well, as we see with Anthem,
Fallout.
even Destiny 2 for a
Oh,
while.
well, not Fallout. never mind.
Fallout. I mean, that's kind of a games as a service
Yeah.
model. So that makes me nervous, but I'm really excited to see that because it's more superhero games, and I think we're still sorely lacking. And I feel like now more than ever, that's why I think my most anticipated game right now is Ultimate Alliance 3.
Yeah.
Just because that was like a surprise out of nowhere when it was announced, and I just love those old games, like the first two. So, and then other than that, there's not a whole lot. Mainly just the entire Nintendo. I want to see something like we haven't seen before, and then probably Cyberpunk is another one that I really want to see.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
So Logan, I think I know what you are excited about, but why don't you go ahead and tell us?
Dude, I'm so excited to wake up early tomorrow and watch the EA so that I can get more info on Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Star Wars.
Dude, it's I really hope that it's gonna be good. I know that EA is kind of notorious for making pretty much everything like pay to win, or like making everything like with microtransactions and all that stuff. Fortunately, since this is like a story-based game, I don't think it'll be that way. But I'm really excited for it. I haven't really played a whole lot of like Star Wars games that have come out recently in a whole long time.
Yeah, because they're bad.
Yeah, most of them are bad. There are games like the Knights of the Old Republic games that are like classics, and then of course you got the original Battlefront games. I used to play Battlefront 2 like a lot more than I should have.
Hell yeah, bro.
Like
We all
maybe
did.
like 5 or 6 hours like straight every day. Oh man.
Jesus.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really hoping that they'll give it a lot of like stuff from Force Unleashed, where you sort of like a lot of customization, things like that, but a lot
Yeah.
of sort of I guess like where you can choose your own adventure sort of things, like the Knights of the Old Republic games. So there's a lot that I'm really looking forward to learning more about that game.
Yeah, I think they've kind of confirmed that there's some customizability, I think, with your lightsaber. Because I think there's a pre-order bonus.
Oh,
for-
really?
Yeah, I think there's a pre-order bonus that gets you certain like customization options for your lightsaber. So that's cool because I don't think there's many. I can't really think of a Star Wars game where you were able to kind of make your own Jedi.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool. I think that in the trailer they released, they show a single protagonist. I think it'd
Yeah.
be cool if they maybe if they don't have a character creator, but they have like options, like maybe a male or female Jedi that you can play as. Or
I
just
don't.
some ways?
I don't think that they will, because they during like the Star Wars Celebration Festival, they like brought out the voice actor who plays the
Oh,
main
okay.
character.
So
It's
it's-
I forget what his name is, but he plays the gay kid on Shameless.
I have not seen Shameless.
Yeah, I haven't seen
but-
it either.
He's a really great actor though, so I'm pretty excited for that.
I mean, at this point, any good Star Wars game is a welcome.
Yeah.
Oh, is his name Cameron Monaghan?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've seen him in other stuff. I think he's in. Yeah, he's in Gotham. He plays Jerome in Gotham, who's like a really notable character. He's really good at it too. So
He's a great actor, so I'm really looking forward to that.
cool. All right, Jared,
King is up.
what are you excited about?
I have a little list, but I'll just go through them real quick. So Cyberpunk, obviously, it's been building up for a while, so I'm interested to see what they show.
Yeah.
Dying Light 2, please, for the love of God.
Oh,
I need that.
shit.
I
Oh
need
my
that video
God.
game in my life.
Yes, let's go.
They announced that last year?
It's
Yeah,
been
I
a
think so.
long time.
Really?
Um,
Oh man.
Did the Dying Light like
Multiplayer thing. The battle
yeah,
royale.
what was that?
I
like
have no idea
Battle
whatever
Royale?
happened with
Yeah, I don't know. I
that.
think it was like in beta, and then I don't know.
And then
Okay.
it got.
Yeah. And then
What else?
Dead Island 2. Apparently, they said recently that it's still in development. So I pray to God that that game comes out, or at least is teased and is good, because I love the first one and the second one was all right. But yeah, I really want Dead Island 2. Halo stuff. I'm excited for PC. Halo. Modern Warfare. I hope they go back, because I was kind of. Well, my one gripe with the reveal that they did was I feel like they showed a lot and they put out a lot of detail, and I kind of want them to go back to where they space out all their stuff. So like at E3, they would just show like parts of like a campaign mission. So I hope they do that just so we can see like how the next gen works and like leaning and all the new mechanics. And then
Yeah, probably.
Leaning. I want to do some leaning.
I would assume they do that at Microsoft, maybe.
But I thought they were so partnered with Sony.
Well, Sony's not going to E3,
But then
so
they can still do
Oh,
like the little
yikes, yeah.
independent like 15-minute spot that they do.
so they just wouldn't do it on a stage. They would
Yeah.
just do it like
I
online.
think so.
I mean, a lot of places are doing that,
Yeah.
like just doing online releases. So I'd be fine.
And then a couple more in the Valley of the Gods. Those are the Firewatch people.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
want
heard
some more
about
on that one.
I think it's Campo Santo
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that.
So I'm excited
Yeah.
for that.
That looked really cool.
Outer Worlds, that like post-apocalyptic whatever.
That's the one made by the Obsidian who made Fallout New Vegas.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully that
does look good. I remember.
hopefully that doesn't flop like every other open world game that's been coming out recently. And then hopefully
Tell
more
me about it.
Starfield info, because I'm looking forward to that. And then I just want to see what's up with this whole quarantine thing for Siege.
Yeah.
I hope it's not
Oh,
like
yeah.
a grind.
Wait.
But like it's like a
Yeah.
whole other game, right?
That's what the article seemed to say. Of course, then again, that was also, if I remember correctly, is a rumor or a leak. So it's not fully it wasn't like a full release of like the information, but it was like they described it as like a co-op. Uh, it was like co-op something. I kind of have forgotten, but the language they were using made it seem like it was a entirely different game because it was called Rainbow Six Quarantine,
Yeah.
not Rainbow Six Siege
Yeah.
Quarantine or something like that.
Yeah.
So I believe it's going to be its own game if that is real. I guess we'll see what that is.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds fun to me.
Yeah, I hope it's not the grind.
Yeah. And then I think there's like that skateboarding game that Microsoft was talking about.
Skate 3?
So that's what I'm saying. I think it's called. Let me look at it.
Well, it'd be Skate 4.
Oh yeah, Skate 4, duh.
Oh, Session. I don't know. It looks like Skate. I don't know. That's just like I just hope it's something like that's good because
I would be, yeah,
I
I would
want a
be super
skateboarding.
down for
Skate
another
3 was
skateboarding
so
game.
So
Oh,
good.
so fun.
I don't think I've heard about this
Session.
game.
It was
I've
like
been
a little
playing
bit.
playing Steep lately, and it's just not the same. You can't do flip tricks. You can't do flip tricks on a snowboard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
And
just
breaking
overall, just like new
bones.
stories because I need a story game. I've been so bored.
Yeah.
Dude,
There you go.
saying Far Cry 5 doesn't satiate your story needs.
Game is so good. Sponsor, please.
I did like I
Not
liked
an
New
actual
Dawn.
sponsor.
We haven't even
So-
finished 5 yet. We're like halfway.
Yo, it's been like a year.
I didn't like New Dawn. I didn't like 5 as much as New Dawn, honestly. And New
Huh.
Dawn is like
Spoiler.
a shorter game, but it's still good.
It
It's
is.
still really good.
What about this From Software game that George R. R.
Yes,
is like
let's
co-creating?
go.
Yeah. So today, it was leaked that George R. R. Martin, the author of the A Song of Ice and Fire books, is doing a collaboration with From Software, who
Yeah.
makes Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Sekiro. So
Bless.
it's called
It's called
let me
Elden
see.
Ring.
Yes, Elden Ring. I don't know. What
Look,
do y'all think?
Dude, I played Dark Souls for the first time like completely through like 2 years ago or something like that, and it's like one of my favorite games of all time. It is a phenomenal game, and From Software is really good at making games. I want it.
I think I'll say for the 5th time that I just finished watching Game of Thrones, and I've now started to try to read the books, and I'm just gonna get real upset if I get to the end of where he's at, and he just dies before The Winds of Winter comes out because he was working on this game. Unless the game's good, then I guess it's okay. George R. R. Martin, please don't die.
So, at least to me, it sounds like maybe a fantasy, which I mean they kind of did with Dark Souls, but
Yeah, they're all very
maybe-
fantasy-esque. Sekiro's the closest.
well, by fantasy,
but not.
I more mean like elves,
Yeah.
Tolkien-esque.
kind of Tolkien-esque, but more like even the Game of Thrones type of fantasy, not as much like medieval. So
Yeah.
almost
Which
like
sounds fun. I'm
Yeah.
down for
Yeah,
From
that'd be cool.
Software style gameplay in a completely different-ish setting.
yeah, because I think like a lot of people said that Sekiro was really good because it kind of made it more vertical and
It's a lot more.
was even more challenging.
It's a lot
but
more mobility
different.
based than because like Dark Souls combat has an emphasis on like weight and everything's very precise and kind of just like I don't know. Every character feels very real and you can see every movement and it's very calculated. And Sekiro is way more fast paced. Really like you have to have really good timing and be really quick in your reactions to things or you'll get blitzed. So it's similar, but they don't feel like the same game.
Nice. Well, hopefully that'll be cool. I'm sure. I don't think that. I mean, they might bring George R. R. Martin out on stage wherever they unveil it, maybe for him to talk. But
Might wheel him out on stage,
Oh,
I feel like they're not gonna.
He'll get swarmed.
prop
I
him
feel
up.
like they would bring him out because I don't think that they really have anything to show. I think they would just.
They're just gonna show him?
announce the collaboration. I mean,
He's
Maybe.
a pretty recognizable guy. If you know what he looks like.
It's a bunch of nerds.
Don't show again.
Maybe.
This is George R. Martin. This is our.
Where's the
You
our
play
book.
it. Maybe you
Where's
play
the
as
book?
George R. Martin.
And you have to write the Winds of Winter. Dude, that's like up the difficulty on any Dark Souls game.
Dang. So I figured we're kind of running out of time, but I figured maybe we just go around to close. What are we playing lately? I know we're all excited about E3, but what's everyone been playing?
Siege.
That's it.
Well, we all
Apex
been playing
Legends.
Siege.
We've all,
all
yeah,
do play
we've all
Siege.
been unfortunately playing Siege together.
Yes. Please drop new operators.
Sponsor.
I'm definitely with Jared, but I feel like I need some stories because all I've been playing is Siege and Apex, and they're good games, but
So
We
burnt.
want something
so burnt
more.
out.
I just want to sit down by myself and play something.
Yeah,
Yeah, just like get immersed. In...
Whatever I say, I want to sit down by myself. Y'all are like, get on Siege. Trash.
Yeah.
I've been playing Persona 5, which is very single player, and that is a long game. I don't even think I've gotten halfway through, and I've definitely put in like probably 20 hours. So
Nice.
Jesus.
that is
Nice.
long. And then I've taken a break from that, and I got the Return to Arkham collection.
Nice.
So now I'm playing through Arkham again
Yeah,
because
Return to
those
Arkham.
games are amazing.
I recently got a PS4, and dude, I
Big
know.
nerd.
And
Big
the
nerd.
first game that I bought was Kingdom Hearts 3, which was a big moment for me because I grew up playing the Kingdom Hearts games. And I beat the second one before I beat the first one because whenever I was young, like I couldn't beat the first game. And so it's
Nope.
been like, I know. I was and still am bad at video games. So,
Hey, but he got a kill in Siege today.
dude, I sure did.
Congratulations.
Shredded that
That's
kid.
that's my fourth or fifth. Yeah.
He's counting.
But I mean, it's easy to count whenever there's not that many.
When you're FPS, first person shot.
Yeah. So it's been a big deal for me to be able to play Kingdom Hearts 3 just because, you know, I waited 13 years for this game to come out, and so like just seeing everything like updated and like all the new stuff that they've added has been like, oh my god, incredible.
Big deals.
Anyone else?
I'm still looking for new games to play. I've been like hardcore searching for something. That's why I've just been playing like Overwatch and Terraria recently, because I just need something to sink my time into while I find a like story game or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jose, are you playing a game right now?
Yeah.
Heavy Rain?
What are you playing?
Epic Games is releasing Heavy Rain, and I haven't played it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So I
good.
installed the demo the other day, and I just when you asked, I was like, oh yeah, Heavy Rain. So I'm probably gonna play through the demo real quick, and obviously I'm probably gonna end up buying the game and play it through.
It's so fucking good.
But
Never
that,
played
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I've been thinking of going back and playing BioShock 2. I started it years ago, and I
There's
got
a rumor
like
that a Bioshock might be
Oh my
announced this
god,
weekend.
please.
yeah.
wow.
But I played BioShock 2. I played like a couple of hours of it, and I didn't save, and it crashed on me, and I was just defeated. I was just like, I was devastated to say the very least, and I was just like, that was like, goddamn, like 3 or 4 years ago now, and so I'm thinking about just picking it back up, and even if it's from the very beginning, but. Yeah, I like you guys. Like I've been playing a lot of Siege, playing a lot of Apex, but I know stories. I love stories, so I need to get back on that.
Also, Jose, if you like Heavy Rain, I've got Detroit Become Human also, which is made by the same people. That's a really fun game, and I enjoyed it a lot. So if you would like to play that, it's available
Dope.
for you. Great story on that one as well.
Sweet, thanks, man. We'll be in touch.
Got you, bro. Got you, bro.
We'll talk about it next week.
You finish your games.
All right. Anyone else?
No.
Take that as a no.
Playing the
I
show.
think we're good.
Thank you, Steven.
Steven's always
We
playing.
know.
Clone
Steven
Hero.
always plays the show.
Play
Clone-
Clone Hero.
Oh, I just started
I
playing Clone
want
Hero,
Clone
actually. It's a
Hero,
good
but I
game.
don't want to spend the money on a guitar because
Just use mine. I don't care.
Yeah, you can use mine too.
Just use the keyboard.
Why would I use the keyboard? That's so boring.
Hey, some people do.
That's so boring.
I know.
That's the only way to do it.
Check your goodwills.
Oh shoot!
True.
I should do that.
Ooh,
That's
a-
actually a.
That is a good idea.
All right, we're working
That's
out
like
tomorrow, Jose, and then we're going to Goodwill.
All right.
That's a joke. It's a joke. I don't want to.
All
do
right.
Either.
Well, I think that is pretty much all that we have this week for our variety podcast. Again, if you have a name, please send it in.
Please.
Well, I feel like
Um,
we should have a name by the time this is posted. So
That's also
boy-
true.
Boy, we hope so.
yeah, we sure hope so. If there's already a name and you have a better one,
Wait, yeah. How are we
Maybe
gonna
send it our
post it
way.
if we don't have
Yeah.
a name?
Oh yeah.
We'll post it.
So if there's a name and it's good, it was me.
Don't worry, we'll fix it.
This whole conversation.
All right. Well, join us again next week. We will have more. We'll have our post E3 probably reactions
Ooh.
and whatever else we have. So until then, enjoy life, enjoy E3, and
Something.
yeah, that's all I got.
Something.
Bye.
Good night.
That's it.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
That's a
Uh,
wrap.
Bye.